Hi and good morning, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is Vlogs About Nothing. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your very busy morning to join me. I really appreciate that. There are just 157 videos to go until we get 1,000, and just like a few days to do it. So, I've said it before, I hope that you enjoy seeing this face as much as I enjoy seeing the view count. You know what I mean? Just because we do have the unfortunate circumstance of not being able to communicate in the kind of a way that's in the traditional model. But hey, if this were anything but traditional, or if it were traditional at all, you probably wouldn't be watching it. You feel me? I mean, seriously, the lighting is awful right now. I don't really know what I'm doing. I have no idea what's going on. I literally have nothing. And so it's just so fitting that this show is called Vlogs About Nothing and that I live my life in accordance with the simple principle of trying to get by while doing nothing. You know what I mean? So let's talk about vintage clothes. I want to talk about vintage clothes from a different perspective. And again, I'm gonna go back and say it. I really do appreciate all the new people that are watching this show. Seriously, it's a whole vibe. So definitely share, like, or dislike. Just engage with the video in the ways that you can, and I'd really appreciate that. Just because it would help this old guy out, I just trying to get by. You feel me? But regardless, let's talk about vintage clothes. Okay, so we've talked about vintage clothes before many times on the show, and if you guys didn't know, vintage is a big part of my life. Not only at the age of 30 did I decide that older women were for me, but at some point way before that, probably when I was like 8 or 9, I've really had an interest in what used to be antique things, right? So I like antique stuff as well. I was basically raised by my grandparents, and they always had a really good palate, like my grandfather and my grandma, both working class people, and rest in peace, you feel me? Merry Christmas. But I just know a lot about good furniture, for example, or old school electronics. I know a lot about tools. And so these are things that I just picked up in my life, and something that really struck a chord with me since I was, again, maybe like, I don't know, 8 or 9, you feel me? Like as early as that age, because I got to see the Bulls play when I was 9 years old. I was born in 1987. The Bulls came to play in Albuquerque for an exhibition game in October of 1996. So again, like right at around that time, I was very involved in sports, little league, and youth basketball, and so I just like vintage clothes. And it started with basketball, and it started with a passion for learning the history of sports, of American sports in specific, and how all of these things impacted our life. And I've been a huge avid basketball guy my entire life. So I've sought out vintage clothes that mirror who I am. You know what I mean? So vintage clothes are a lot more than just old clothes, which ironically enough, are also of better quality than new clothes. They last longer. That's hence why they're still around. Whether it's just 100% cotton, or just single stitch t shirts, these things have lasted quite literally decades. And so the craftsmanship that is involved, or the tailorship that was involved in the making of old clothes, is quite it's really cool, honestly. It's super awesome. I mean, think about it. Like there are some awesome vintage clothes. I'm wearing one, for example, right now. Okay, so a good example of like who I am and why I try to wear things that mirror who I am, and on a simple level, right? I'm not the guy that likes to wear Gucci or Versace or designer labels, just only because I stick with polo. I enjoy actually polo, but moreover vintage polo because it's still of better quality in my opinion. But this jacket, can you imagine how many memories this jacket has? So this jacket was given to the MVP of a basketball tournament here in New Mexico, and it's extremely old. So it's like from 1990. I was born in 1987. Extremely old. Did I say that already? Because that would make this jacket 34 years old, about to be 35 next week. So, I can't imagine this was like somebody's one of their best days in their lives. Like this is that. You feel me? Like when this jacket was given to that person straight off the line from the manufacturer when it was shipped into a box that then went to some school that then went to a coach or an athletic director and then was given to the MVP of the All-Star game. Like this jacket has more intrinsic value than a stack of hundreds. You feel me? Like legitimate. Like that's how I feel about it. And it means a lot to me. I know it's just a stupid jacket that I paid $6 for at the thrift store, but and that moreover I could resell, for a little profit because it's in very good condition and vintage clothes are sought out. Um, I've dedicated half my adult life to seeking out other vintage items and trying to have a part in reselling them online in some small way, So I really like vintage clothes. I'm about the vibe. I really like that there are people out there who feel the same way that I do about vintage clothes. And it's a whole lifestyle. I literally try not to ever wear anything that was made in this century. I mean, just because that's being born in 1987 and having that experience that I prefaced with, I just feel like now as an adult approaching 40, that I still am all about having clothes that are just this shirt that I'm wearing is from 2002. 2002. So I guess no. So this shirt, when I got it, I knew that I thought this shirt was 2004. But anyways, so I like vintage clothes, and to me, vintage is anything from 2005 below. I mean, at this point, the world has progressed, and it's gonna be 2025 next week. Can you believe that? I can't. I really just truly can't. Only because life goes by so quickly, and it's phased out, and then at the end of it, you end up alone and on your way to some other journey, and that's a journey, right? I mean, just thinking about things we don't know anything about, you feel me? Like the conclusion of our mortal lives. I mean, yeah, I'm a little existential. It's a little early, and we are talking about vintage clothes, so I'll close that sidebar on up. I just can't reiterate to y'all enough that vintage clothes and the way that you dress is sometimes just the only thing that we have that matters. And I feel like fake rich people, for example, designer clothes are cool, right? I'm not saying don't be the cool kid. I'm not saying it's not cool or doesn't look aesthetically pleasing to have the best of the newest clothes and things like that. I'm just saying that the reality is that, a lot of America right now is struggling. And I think a part of the solution is being practical, and buying old clothes is beneficial in so many different ways. It impacts your community, it makes it so that new clothes don't have to be made, old clothes last longer, they're traditionally cheaper. I mean, so this is one of the exploits that capitalism in essence exposes, right? Because there ends up being a surplus of products, and in this case linens and clothes, you feel me, and fabric. And moreover, the underdeveloped world in third world countries, have a big issue with all of the new clothes that are produced in textiles and things, so they get stuck in landfills where people then have to pick them out of the trash and resell them and bulk them into huge shipping containers. I mean, so the world will always find a way to make use of what is available, and even in the most unfortunate of circumstances, there is a shelf life for all clothes, if you think about it, because I mean, we all need to dress. I mean, we live on the surface of a planet that is well, at this current point in time, a little unstable. So, yeah, so far as the weather is concerned, right? I think so. Clothes are important; they always will be important. And moreover, again, I think that if you're practical and if you're logical about some of those purchases you make, including vintage clothes, you not only win in the pocketbook, but you also win in life because it is a reflection of who you are. And I think some of the things that you believe in, even by like random coincidence, you throw on a shirt that's from some band you jammed out to 30 years ago, like, and you don't even think about putting that shirt on, but really, like in all practicality, like you're representing a mood or a vibe or a person that you were and who you still are a little bit of because you decided to for some reason keep that t-shirt, so like it's just, and whether or not it's what's on the t-shirt or what the t-shirt's made of or a mixture of both, you still have it, you feel me? So vintage clothes are a vibe. And my name is Albert and this is Vlogs About Nothing. I hope you guys have a really awesome day. Merry Christmas. Bye.